It's cost you, what, about $2.5 million already?
It's cost me everything I've ever made, my everything.
In the shadows of fame and fortune lies a darker reality, a world where the brightest stars burn out, leaving behind only the ashes of shattered dreams and empty bank accounts. This isn't just a tale of financial misfortune. It's a chilling descent into the abyss where wealth is squandered, reputations are tarnished, and lives are forever altered. Join us as we uncover the haunting stories of 20 celebrities who lost everything. Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes was a popular actress known for her roles in American teen comedies. She became famous in 1999 when she starred in her own sketch comedy show, The Amanda Show. At just 13 years old, she quickly became well-known on TV, appearing in other Nickelodeon shows like All That. Later, she moved to movies, starring in films such as Big Fat Liar, What a Girl Wants, She's the Man, Love Wrecked, and Sydney White. Her last movie role was in Easy A in 2010, where she played Mary Ann, a classmate of Emma Stone's character. After that, Bynes decided to stop acting. In an interview, Bynes shared that she began using Adderall during her career because she thought it would help her stay thin. She also admitted to abusing alcohol and marijuana, which she believed worsened her mental health problems. By 2013, she faced serious struggles with her mental health and was placed under a conservatorship, meaning someone else controlled her finances and major life decisions. Bynes did not participate in a recent documentary about Nickelodeon shows, but her name came up in discussions about toxic work environments and predators on set. Fans expressed concern for her on social media. T-Pain. T-Pain, a famous singer and rapper, became popular in 2005 with many hit songs. He earned more than $40 million during his career. But instead of saving his money or investing it wisely, he spent a lot on a big house and a very expensive car, a Bugatti. Later, he had to sell the car for only $800,000. This was not enough to keep his bank account full, and by 2019, he was forced to file for bankruptcy because he ran out of money. Even though he won the first season of The Masked Singer that same year, he had already lost much of his fortune. T-Pain's real name is Fahim Rashad Najm, and he was born on September 30, 1984. He became well known for using auto-tune, a tool that changes how a person's voice sounds. Many other artists, like Lil Wayne and Kanye West, have used auto-tune in a similar way. In 2009, T-Pain had an accident while riding a golf cart on the day he was supposed to shoot a music video. He got hurt and lost 4 teeth, but he was back to performing just 2 days later. In 2013, T-Pain decided to cut off his famous dreadlocks, saying it was important to change and not get stuck doing the same thing for too long. He reminded everyone that hair can always grow back. T-Pain enjoys playing video games and often shares his gaming sessions on Twitch. He also has many tattoos, some of which are based on popular internet memes. In 2007, T-Pain got into trouble with the police at a concert in Miami when he refused to end his performance early. Later that year, he was arrested for driving with a suspended license, but was released from jail after a few hours. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, a famous basketball player, faced serious financial problems after losing over $20 million. This happened because he trusted a woman named Peggy Ann Fulford to manage his money. Peggy pretended to be a financial advisor with degrees from Harvard and experience on Wall Street. Dennis met her through a friend and believed in her so much that he mentioned her as family in his Hall of Fame speech in 2011. Unfortunately, this trust led to major issues. Rodman ended up owing $800,000 in child support due to these financial losses. Known for his wild behavior both on and off the court, his expenses kept growing. In 2012, he owed $860,376 in child and spousal support. There were rumors about his spending on strip clubs and alcohol, but it's unclear how much of that was true. He also faced legal troubles, adding to his financial burdens. He had to pay $2,000 for drunk driving and was arrested during a domestic disturbance with his then wife. His expenses included $200,000 for kicking a referee, a $20,000 fine for leaving his team to wrestle Hulk Hogan during the NBA Finals in 1998, another $20,000 fine for fighting with a referee, and $68,000 for skipping training camp in 1992. Despite these financial struggles, Dennis Rodman is still remembered as one of the greatest players in the Chicago Bulls' history. Gary Busey. Gary Busey is a famous Hollywood actor known for his big smile and unique personality. However, his life has been full of ups and downs. Once a major star, he now has a much smaller fortune, with his current net worth estimated at only $500,000. A significant change in his life occurred due to a serious motorcycle accident in 1988. On December 4th, 1988, Busey was involved in a terrible motorcycle accident. He was not wearing a helmet, which led to a severe head injury. This injury drastically affected his behavior with his son Jake, noting that Busey's personality became extreme after the accident. Jake expressed that he felt like he lost his dad on the day of the accident. The head injury resulted in severe brain damage, which had a profound impact on Busey's life. Since the accident, Busey has faced many challenges. He struggled with drug addiction and often behaved unusually in public. His ability to act was also affected, and he had difficulty remembering his lines during an off-Broadway show. Despite these struggles, Busey managed to secure some guest starring roles on television, often playing an exaggerated version of himself. Busey lives with his long-term partner, Stephanie, in Malibu, California. Jake mentioned that without Stephanie's support, Busey might be living in a nursing home. In 2012, Busey filed for bankruptcy, claiming he was over $500,000 in debt. Lil Kim. Lil Kim, born Kimberly Jones, made a huge impact on rap music starting in the 1990s. Despite her success, she has faced many challenges throughout her career. In May 2023, she told XXL magazine that while she has had great moments, she is still waiting for a big oh my god moment. She said, "I'm living life, enjoying myself, just doing me." One of Lil Kim's biggest challenges came in 2001 when she was sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in prison for lying to protect her friends after a shooting. She was also fined $50,000. Before the sentencing, she admitted her mistake, saying she thought lying was right, but now knows it was wrong. She asked the judge to consider her hard work, not just her time in court. Despite being in prison, Lil Kim released her 4th album, The Naked Truth, on September 27, 2005. Although it got mixed reviews and she couldn't promote it, she made friends in prison and learned from the experience. She described it as a bad boarding school but said she got much-needed rest after working non-stop before prison. Lil Kim was released in July 2006. She expressed her happiness to be home and thanked her fans for their support during her 10 months in prison. However, adjusting to life outside was difficult, and she faced dark times. After her release, her music received less attention, and in 2008, she left Atlantic Records to become her own boss. That same year, she released a mixtape called Miss GOAT and returned to television. She also had a well-known feud with Nicki Minaj, which began around 2008. The feud continued for years, with both artists confirming their dislike for each other. Sinbad. Sinbad, a well-known comedian and actor, suffered a severe stroke 3 years ago that changed his life. A stroke happens when the brain's blood supply is cut off, leading to serious health issues. Sinbad's stroke was very severe. He was dependent on a ventilator and was put into a coma. His family shared that only about 30 out of 100 people survived a stroke as severe as his. Sinbad, who is now 66 years old, is slowly recovering. His family recently shared that his arms and legs, which doctors thought would never move again, are starting to work, and he is even trying to learn to walk again. Sinbad's recovery journey began after many months in hospitals. Initially, doctors thought he would recover quickly, but he faced complications, including another blood clot that required more surgery. This caused his brain to swell, leading to another operation where doctors found bleeding in his brain. Sinbad was in a coma for weeks, and his family had to wait a long time to see any signs of improvement. When he finally woke up, they realized he could not move his left side and could not hold his head up, which was very hard for everyone. In May 2021, after many months of treatment, Sinbad was transferred to a rehabilitation center, and 2 months later, he was able to go home. Since then, he has made significant progress, even appearing in the show Atlanta. However, his treatment is expensive, and his family is seeking help to cover the costs. They worked with a toy designer to create a special Sinbad action figure, with only 40 being made, to raise money for his recovery. Sinbad's family remains hopeful, saying he will keep pushing until he can walk across the stage again. Bert Reynolds. Bert Reynolds was a well-known American actor and producer who had a thrilling career but also faced significant personal challenges. Despite his success in popular TV shows like Gunsmoke and movies like Smokey and the Bandit, Reynolds faced severe financial difficulties in the 1990s. He filed for bankruptcy in 1996, losing millions of dollars along with valuable possessions like his Florida cattle ranch and a restaurant named CR's Steak and Seafood. At the peak of his career in the 1970s, Bert Reynolds was earning $10 million a year. However, when he passed away at 82 years old, his net worth was just $5 million. One of the key reasons for his financial downfall was his expensive divorce from actress Lonnie Anderson in the early 90s, which contributed to his bankruptcy and foreclosure issues. Reynolds admitted in an interview that he lost a lot of money because he wasn't careful with it. While some actors are smart with their finances, Reynolds acknowledged that he was not. Rumors spread that he was broke again when he began auctioning off personal items, including his Golden Globe Award from the movie Boogie Nights. This upset him, and he clarified that he was not bankrupt, despite what people thought. During his prime, Reynolds lived an extravagant lifestyle. He owned a massive ranch in Jupiter, Florida, along with properties in Arkansas, Beverly Hills, Malibu, and Georgia. He also had a mountaintop retreat in North Carolina, a private jet, a helicopter, luxury sports cars, and 150 horses. He even spent over $100,000 on hairpieces. Despite his wealth, Reynolds expressed one major regret. He wished he had spent more money enjoying life. Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton is a well-known singer, famous for her smooth voice and powerful songs. She became a big part of the R&B music scene in the 1990s. Toni's love for music started in her childhood, as she grew up in a religious family and sang in church. Her big break came in 1992 when she sang on the soundtrack for the movie Boomerang, which featured stars like Eddie Murphy and Halle Berry. She released many hit songs, including Unbreak My Heart, Breathe Again, and Just Be a Man About It. Her talent and hard work earned her 7 Grammy Awards, making her one of the most popular artists of her time. Besides her music career, Toni also acted in films and television. She made history as the first Black woman to play Belle in the Broadway show Beauty and the Beast. However, Toni faced many challenges despite her success. Like many artists in the 1990s, she had a bad record deal. Even though her first album sold over 70 million copies and made $170 million, she received only about $1,972 from her contract. Most of her earnings went towards expenses like studio time, travel, and music videos, leaving her in debt. Toni experienced 2 bankruptcies due to these financial problems, losing millions of dollars in royalties and income. Despite these setbacks, Toni turned her life around and is now worth about $10 million. Her classic songs remain popular and continue to earn her money, allowing her to earn 60% of the revenue from that song. Toni also shared her life on the reality show Braxton Family Values. Now she and her family are returning to reality TV with a new show called The Braxtons, where they will share their healing journey after the loss of her sister, Tracy. They have finished filming, but the release date has not yet been announced. Kim Basinger. Kim Basinger is a famous actress who made a significant impact in the entertainment industry, especially during the 1980s. Born on December 8, 1953, in Athens, Georgia, Kim grew up with 5 siblings, 2 older brothers, Mick and Skip, and 2 younger sisters, Ashley and Barbara. In 1989, Kim bought 1,691 acres of land in Brazelton, Georgia, for $20 million. She wanted to create a tourist destination with a film festival and movie studios. However, the project did not work out as planned, leading to financial difficulties. By 1995, she had to start selling parts of the land, citing family issues as a major reason for the project's failure. In 1993, Kim faced more financial trouble after withdrawing from the movie Boxing Helena. The studio sued her for $8,900,000, which led to her filing for bankruptcy because she could not pay the $8,100,000 the court demanded. The lawsuit was eventually settled for a smaller amount after 4 years. Despite these setbacks, Kim's career saw a resurgence in 1997 when she starred in the hit movie LA Confidential. The film earned over $126 million worldwide, and Kim won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. As of 2024, Kim Basinger has a net worth of $20 million. Todd Herzog. Todd Herzog, who won a large sum of money on Survivor China in 2007, has faced many difficulties since then, especially with alcohol. In 2013, he appeared on Dr. Phil, where he was so intoxicated that he had to be carried onto the stage. Recently, Todd claimed that the show set him up. He shared that when he arrived for the taping, he found 2 bottles of vodka in his dressing room. Although he was sober when he arrived, he drank an entire bottle before going on stage. Additionally, Todd mentioned that someone gave him Xanax, a medication he had never used before, which made him more out of control during the show. Todd recalled that his parents had planned an intervention to help him, but the situation worsened. He described how he was sober when he first arrived at the studio, even talking to his dad. However, after being left alone in his dressing room with 2 liters of vodka and energy drinks, he drank too much and became very drunk before the show. His dad was very upset, having seen him sober just a short time earlier. Dr. Phil McGraw did not comment on Todd's claims, but a psychologist who works with the show denied the accusations. The psychologist stated that Todd's story was not true, explaining that the show does not leave guests alone with alcohol or provide them with drugs. Fantasia Barrino. Fantasia Barrino's journey to fame was filled with many challenges. After winning American Idol in 2004, at just 19 years old, she quickly learned that fame did not make life easy. Fantasia struggled with managing her money, which led to significant financial troubles. In 2006, her father sued her because of how he was portrayed in her book, Life is Not a Fairy Tale, adding more stress to her life. In 2010, Fantasia faced a serious crisis when she took too many aspirin and sleeping pills. These difficult times made her feel lost and alone, teaching her that being a star was not just about singing and acting. She realized the importance of managing her career like a business and said, "You have to become a businesswoman." She learned that success required making smart choices and working with trustworthy partners. Fantasia once believed that winning American Idol would make everything perfect, but she soon realized that she needed to be more careful with her money and contracts. Her lack of knowledge in these areas caused many problems, but she grew stronger from her experiences. Fantasia is thankful for these challenges, saying, "If I did not go through that, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today." Now Fantasia is a mother of 3 and has achieved great success in her career. MC Hammer. MC Hammer was a famous American rapper known for his hit song, You Can't Touch This. Despite earning over $33 million, Hammer faced serious financial troubles due to his lavish spending and poor money management. By 1996, he was more than $13 million in debt and filed for bankruptcy. Hammer's excessive spending included buying expensive items and maintaining a large payroll for friends and family. His financial issues worsened as his later albums did not sell well, leaving him with many bills, loans, and other financial obligations. In April of 1996, Hammer went to the U.S. bankruptcy court in Oakland, California, seeking help. Though his case changed in 1998, he was denied a discharge of his debts by 2002. Hammer had to sell his large house for much less than it was worth, and later admitted that he prioritized business over family and community. He also faced legal issues, including a lawsuit from musician Rick James, who claimed Hammer copied parts of You Can't Touch This. They settled, and Hammer credited James for his work. Despite hitting rock bottom, Hammer worked to rebuild his life, appearing on shows like The Oprah Winfrey Show and Behind the Music, where he discussed his financial lessons. In 2011, He faced a lawsuit from the U.S. government for unpaid taxes from 1996 and 1997, owing around $779,000. Despite appealing, he lost the case in 2015. Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman's life was marked by financial struggles. In 1989, he sued his parents for mishandling his money when he was a child actor on the TV show Different Strokes. He had a trust fund that was supposed to hold his earnings, which was meant to be worth as much as $18 million. However, when he turned 17 and wanted to access the money, he discovered only $220,000 remained. He eventually settled with his parents for $1,300,000. Coleman faced many health issues throughout his life that caused him to be shorter than most people. These problems continued into adulthood and contributed to his bankruptcy in 1999. Coleman's financial issues persisted even after his death in 2010 from a brain hemorrhage caused by an accidental fall. Before his passing, he created 2 wills, one in 1999 and another in 2005. In the later will, he named Anna Gray, his assistant and ex-girlfriend, as the beneficiary of his estate. Coleman was previously married to Shannon Price, but they divorced in 2008. Price claimed there was a handwritten note added to his will in 2007, suggesting they had a common law marriage. However, the court found this note raised questions because the couple was legally separated, and Coleman had previously taken out a restraining order against her. The judge upheld the 2005 will, designating Gray as the rightful heir. Butler. Butler faced serious issues in July when she realized she was 6 months behind on rent and risked eviction from her Los Angeles apartment. At one time, she was a successful comedian and actress, starring in the ABC sitcom Grace Under Fire in the mid-1990s. Butler earned $250,000 per episode and made around $25 million from the show. Unfortunately, she lost it all due to poor spending decisions. Butler hoped to revive her career with a promised DVD deal worth $1 million, but it never materialized. Her occasional TV appearances paid very little, with earnings of about $5,000 for a single day of work. To avoid eviction, she and her friend Lon Strickler created a GoFundMe account, setting a goal of $15,000. The campaign raised $12,583 from 246 people. Before her rise to fame, Butler overcame alcoholism and escaped an abusive marriage. Although Grace Under Fire was based on her life, she developed an addiction, which affected her behavior on set and led to problems with her co-stars. The show was canceled after its 5th season due to declining ratings, financial losses, and Butler's struggles with addiction. She entered rehab for the first time, becoming sober in July 1998. Butler took responsibility for the show's failure, expressing guilt over its outcome. Since then, she has remained drug and alcohol-free. TLC. TLC was a famous music group in the 1990s. They had 4 #1 hits on the Billboard chart and sold millions of records. Their second album, Crazy Sexy Cool, came out in November 1994 and sold more than 15 million copies worldwide. Surprisingly, the following year, they announced they were filing for bankruptcy. TLC reported that their money issues arose from bad record contracts, where each member earned less than $50,000 a year despite their fame. They worked hard to change their contracts and released Fan Mail in 1999. Tragically, in 2002, Lisa Left Eye Lopes passed away. After her death, TLC took a break but later returned as a duo. TLC stands for the names of its members, Tion T-Boz Watkins, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, and Rozonda Chili Thomas. They first gained recognition in 1992 with their debut album. Crazy Sexy Cool featured popular songs like Creep, Red Light Special, and the famous hit Waterfalls. They won 2 Grammy Awards in 1995, becoming the first girl group to sell over 10 million copies of an album. However, that same year, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy due to significant debt from their contracts with Layface and Pebetone. Chili revealed their financial struggles, saying, We're as broke can be. Despite these challenges, TLC made a strong comeback with Fan Mail, which debuted at #1 on the Billboard chart. Their story serves as a warning about the importance of understanding music contracts. Kelly Rutherford. Kelly Rutherford is an American actress famous for her roles in popular TV shows like Melrose Place and Gossip Girl. In 2018, she filed for bankruptcy due to her struggling career and a lawsuit with her ex-husband, Daniel Giersch, over child custody. Rutherford has openly discussed her hardships, including dealing with PTSD and losing her home during a tough divorce. When she separated from Giersch, their son Hermes was only 2 years old, and she was pregnant with their daughter, Helena. A judge granted joint custody, which is a common decision in such cases. However, Giersch's work visa was canceled, preventing him from returning to the United States. The judge ruled that the children should live with their father in Monaco, forcing Rutherford to travel there to see them. This decision shocked her, as she had spent a lot of time and money trying to gain full custody in the US. One summer, in desperation, she did not let her kids return to Monaco after a visit and was accused of kidnapping. Eventually, the court ordered the children back to Monaco, and Rutherford spent nearly $2 million on legal fees. After her bankruptcy, she stepped back from the spotlight. Nearly 10 years later, she reflects on those difficult times and focuses on being a good mother. Teresa Giudice. Teresa Giudice is responding to Margaret Joseph's claim that Teresa's husband, Luis Louis Ruelas, has wasted her money. Teresa said, "She's not even in my house. She's spreading false stories." She believes that Margaret is trying to make Teresa the main topic of her conversations. Teresa added, "She talks about me all the time. She's obsessed with me and my husband." Margaret, who is 57 years old, made this surprising statement in the trailer for season 14 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, which is currently airing. In the trailer, Margaret told her husband, Joe Benigno, Louis wasted her money. In another part of the trailer, Danielle Cabral mentioned that Teresa, who is 51 years old, felt distraught because there is not a lot of calm in the house. Teresa Giudice is a reality TV star and an author. She became well known for being on Bravo's The Real Housewives of New Jersey. In 2021, Teresa spent 15 months in prison due to fraud charges related to her taxes. After getting out of prison, she talked about how hard this time was for her. She faced financial problems and even lost her home. The court took away her belongings and money as part of her sentence. She even had to sell her pricey mansion. Even with these challenges, Teresa has kept working on her career. Doug Hutcherson. Now, in the late 50s, Hutcherson married 16-year-old Stodden when he was 50. In a Fox News interview, he revealed that this relationship led to him being blacklisted by Hollywood. Hutcherson shared how his professional life deteriorated after their marriage became public. He anticipated that their 34-year age difference would attract attention, but he was unprepared for the extent of the backlash. "I knew our marriage would turn heads," he said, "but I didn't expect it to lead to my manager and agent dropping me and being blackballed from casting directors." Despite these challenges, Hutcherson does not regret his relationship with Stodden. When asked about concerns over burning bridges, he stated, "I have nothing to lose. Once you tell the truth, the worry about burning bridges is over." He was shocked by how his family and friends turned away from him after his marriage was exposed, and he lost his agent as well. "I shot my career in the head for love," he said. "In doing so, I lost my family and friends. It felt like everyone was leaving except for me and Courtney." He described his time with Stodden as a bittersweet journey and expressed no regrets about their marriage. "I don't believe in living a life of regret," he said. "Every choice we make is for a reason. I have no regrets about my marriage to Courtney. It was a meaningful and powerful experience." Hutcherson and Stodden finalized their divorce following a 2-year separation. Stodden explained that the delay was due to errors in filling out the paperwork, as it was her first divorce. "It took 2 years to get it right," she said. "The whole process was very hard on both of us, but we still care about each other." Hutcherson, who has a net worth of $500,000, experienced financial losses due to the fallout from his controversial marriage. His career suffered significantly, leading to both professional and personal setbacks. Sly Stone. Sly Stone was a huge star in the music world but dropped out of sight in 1987. He showed up sometime later, but it was never a real comeback, just more sad news. When people read about him, they wished they hadn't. For many years, Sly Stone was a top musician, making hit songs. But then, everything changed. It wasn't because fans stopped liking him. It was because of Sly himself. The fans still wanted more music. People remembered when Sly Stone was everywhere. He was on TV, on the cover of magazines, and at famous concerts like Woodstock. He played for huge crowds at places like Madison Square Garden, where he even got married in front of 21,000 people. From 1967 to 1971, Sly and the family Stone were on the radio all the time. They had 5 songs in the top 10, with 3 that were number 1. Sly created a new sound called psychedelic soul. Many record labels tried to copy it. Sly later said that Motown used his style to help stars like Michael Jackson. The famous musical hair also reflected Sly's vibe. Sadly, Sly Stone faced many personal problems and lost control of his music. His life went downhill, and he struggled with money. Still, he is celebrated for his music and serves as a warning about addiction. Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag starred in the MTV reality show The Hills from 2006 to 2010. After the show, her life took a major turn. In 2009, Heidi had multiple plastic surgeries, including 10 in one day. These surgeries led to severe health issues and financial troubles. Eventually, she filed for bankruptcy and has worked hard to rebuild her career and personal life. Heidi and her husband, Spencer Pratt, revealed that they spent all of their $10 million in just 2 years. They made a lot of money from The Hills and other reality shows. Spencer earned up to $175,000 per episode, and together, they made up to $2 million a year from appearances and photo shoots. Despite their earnings, they went broke. Heidi spent $1 million on designer clothes, and they spent $15,000 for a single night out. They enjoyed pricey dinners, including $3,000 bottles of wine, and Spencer's crystal collection cost him another $1 million. Looking back, Heidi admitted they lived beyond their means and ignored their money manager's advice to cut spending. At one point, they had to move back in with Spencer's parents to save money. Now, their combined worth is about $600,000. They mostly earn from reality shows like Celebrity Big Brother and Marriage Boot Camp reality stars. In 2019, they returned to The Hills for a new series, The Hills New Beginnings. We hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more.